Thank you for joining me. In this week's episode of the Black Money Traders Weekly Market Recap, I will review this week's market direction and give you a few ideas on how to trade the current market action, including a few examples. I will also do a market analysis of the current conditions and what we can expect next week. So let's get to it. Happy Sunday, everybody. So let's start where we normally start with the COVID map here. So worldwide, 2.9 million cases. The US just shy of 1 million. Canada is about 48,000. So here's our confirmed graph. Still a pretty good upward trend line, but it looks like it's starting to flatten the curve here. So we sort of topped out a couple of days at around 100,000 cases. So hopefully we're going to see some rollover here, and that will get us out of here. So let's look at the overall markets. We have had some provinces in Canada, some states in the US are talking now about opening the doors and trying to get us back to some resemblance of normality. So let's have a look at the SPY here. All right, so as we can see here, we're still in an upward trend line now. So we had support down here at around 220. Broke that downward trend line a few weeks back, made some upward momentum, came back down, found a second level of support, and now we're heading up. So this is that rising bottom pattern that I've talked about for a few weeks now. So we are doing quite well here. There was some support here which would become resistance. As you can see here, it's come up, it's hit that previous support line or resistance line now, and it's come back down, but it's also pulled away in here, away from that upward trend line. And you will see the stocks, any stocks that you look at, when they start to pull back from this upward trend line, you can be assured that they will pull back down, touch off that line, and that's usually a good buy signal, especially in these upward trends. Let's have a look at the Dow here. Again, very similar. We could probably adjust this upward trend line here that I've put in, to sort of something along those lines. So it isn't an exact science, but you can shift these around. So again, support down here, support up here. You got that rising bottom. It's still in an upward trend, so it did pull away from that trend line and now has come back. So we're starting to see some sideways trading here, and then you should probably see some resistance in around this 247 mark, and then once we get back up, all the way up here at the 296. Okay. The NASDAQ here as well. Again, these charts are very, very similar. They've broken their downward trends. They've had the rising bottoms. So here we can probably move. This one in here. So you might see this coming week these stocks either trade sideways until they get to this upward trend line, or you could have a day where it will pull back down to here and then continue up. TSX up in Canada, again, same thing. So we can draw the trend lines on here. So our downward trends, something along this line here, right? And then into an upward trend line pattern like this. Okay, we can change these to upward trend line. Okay, support here, very similar to the US. This one in here at about 47.5, and some support down here at 42.5. So again, pulled away from that upward trend line. it's come back to it, and hopefully we will see next week it will continue to rise like that. Okay, here's the oil. Again, we're starting to see that upward trend in here, right? So we've got an upward trend line in here. So support here, support down here, pulled away from that upward trend line and has come back, and it touched here and it's gone back up. I expect to see some sideways trading or a down day, and then hopefully it'll continue on. You'll definitely have some resistance in here where this huge gap is. So it'll continue up, and then you might see some resistance in this when it tries to fill this gap area, okay? All right, so that's sort of where we're at for this week. I expect Monday will probably be a little bit to the downside here, as U.S. stock futures have retreated. We have a lot of big earnings coming up this week. Be wary of that. We might see some hesitation from a lot of investors due to the COVID and companies reporting probably lower than expected earnings. All right, so as always, please like and subscribe. Hopefully you all found this quite useful, and if so, please comment below. And if you would like me to do a video on anything else, again, please like and subscribe. And if you would like to learn how to trade and make a consistent income from the market, please comment below or email me at carl@blackmoneytraders.com. Thank you very much for tuning in, and until next week, remember to plan your trade and trade your plan.